growing in self-esteem, dealing with feelings, and learning to really love and value ourselves. Boundaries emerge from deep within. They are connected to letting go of guilt and shame and to changing our beliefs about what we deserve. As our thinking about this becomes clearer, so will our boundaries. Boundaries are also connected to a higher timing than our own. We'll set a limit when we're ready and not a moment before. So will others. There's something magical about reaching the point of becoming ready to set a limit. We know what we mean when we say others take us seriously too. Things change, not because we're controlling others, but because we've changed. Today I will trust that I will learn, grow, and set the limits I need in my life at my own pace. This timing is only right for me. This next one is called Letting Go in Love. Gentle people, gentle souls, go in love. Yes, at times we need to be firm, assertive. Those times when we change, when we acquire new behavior, when we need to convince others and ourselves we have rights. Those times are not permanent. We may need to get angry to make a decision, to set a boundary, but we can't afford to stay resentful. It is difficult to have compassion for one who's victimizing us. But once we've removed ourselves as victims, we can find compassion. Our path, our way, is a gentle one walked in love. Love for self, love for others. Set boundaries, detach, take care of ourselves, and as quickly as possible, do those things in love. Today and whenever possible, let me handle and let me be gentle with myself and others. Let me find acceptance and gratitude for those irrational annoyances. We don't have to process everything and figure out if it's a scheme of things. Solve the problem, get the car repaired, fix the dishwasher, nurse yourself through the cold. Wait to take a shower until there is hot water. Nurture yourself through the bad day. Tend to your responsibilities and don't take everything so personally. If we need to recognize a particular insight or awareness, we will be guided in that direction. Certainly, we want to watch for patterns, but often the big insights and the significant processing happen naturally. We don't have to question every occurrence to see how it fits into the plan. The plan, the awareness, the insight, the potential for personal growth. It will reveal itself to us. Perhaps the lesson is to learn to solve our problems without always knowing their significance. Perhaps the lesson is to trust ourselves to live and experience life. So today I will let things happen without worrying about the significance of each event. I will trust that this will bring about my growth faster and running around with a microscope. I will trust my lessons to deal and reveal themselves in their own time. The next segment is taking care of ourselves. We often refer to recovery from codependency and adult-child issues as self-care. Self-care is not, as some may think, a spin-off of the me generation. It isn't self-indulgence. It isn't selfishness. It is the negative interpretation of that word. We've learned to take care of ourselves instead of obsessing, focusing on one another. We're learning self-responsibility instead of feeling excessively responsible for others. Self-care also means tending to our own true responsibility to others. We do this better when we're not feeling overly responsible. Self-care doesn't mean me first, but usually means me too. It means we are responsible for ourselves and can choose to no longer be victims. Self-care means learning to love the person we are responsible for taking care of, ourselves. We do not do this to hibernate in a cocoon of isolation and self-indulgence. We do it so we can better love others and learn to let them love us. Self-care isn't selfish, it's self-esteem. Now the next one is called accepting change. The winds of change blow through our life, sometimes gently, sometimes like a tropical storm. Yes, we have resting places, time to adjust to another level of living, time to get our balance, time to enjoy the rewards. We have time to catch our breath, but change is inevitable and desirable. Sometimes when the winds of change begin to rustle, we're not certain the change is for the better. You may recall it is stress or temporary condition. Certain will be restored to normal. Sometimes we resist. We duck our head down and buck the wind, hoping that things will quickly calm down, get back to the way they were. Is it possible we're being prepared for a new normal? Change will sweep through our lives as needed to take us where we're going. We can trust that our higher power has a plan in mind. Even when we don't know where the changes are leading, we can trust that the change taking place is good. The winds will take us where we need to go. The next one is called finding our own truth. Our must discover and stand in our own right. We often need to struggle, fail, and be confused and frustrated. That's how we break through our struggle. That's how we learn what is true and right for ourselves. We can share information with each other. Others can tell us what may predictably happen if we pursue a particular course. But it will not mean anything until we integrate the message and it becomes our truth, our discovery, our knowledge. There's no easy way to break through and find the truth. But we can and will if we want to. We may want to make it easier. We may nervously run to friends asking them to give us their truth or make our discovery earlier. They cannot. Light will shed itself in its own time. Each of us has our own share of truth waiting to reveal itself. Each of us has our own share of light waiting for us to stand in it, to claim it as ours. Encouragement helps. Support helps. A firm belief that each person has truth available, appropriate to each situation, is what will help. Each experience, each frustration, each situation has its own truth waiting to be revealed. Don't give up until you find it for yourself. We must be guided into truth. If we are seeking it, we are not alone. The next one is called resisting negativity. Some people are carriers of negativity. They are storehouses of pent-up anger and volatile emotions. Some remain trapped in the victim role and act in ways that further their victimization. And others are still caught in the cycle of addictive or compulsive patterns. Negative energy can have a powerful pull on us, especially if we are struggling to maintain positive energy and balance. It may seem that others who exclude negative energy would like to pull us into the darkness with them, but we do not have to go. Without judgment, we can decide it's okay to walk away. It's okay to protect ourselves. We cannot change other people. It does not help others accept our anger toward family members without casting guilt or shame on ourselves. It is important to examine our guilty feelings concerning family members, as anger and guilt are often intertwined. We can accept, even thank, our anger for protecting us, but we can also set another goal, taking and accepting our freedom. Once we do, we will not need our anger. Once we do, we can accept and achieve forgiveness. Think loving thoughts. Think healing thoughts toward family members. But let ourselves be angry as we need to be. At some point, strive to be done with the anger. But we need to be gentle with ourselves if the feelings surface from time to time. So be thankful for those feelings. Feel them and release them. Let the golden light of healing shine upon all we love, upon all with whom we feel anger. Let the golden light of healing shine on with us. Trust that healing is taking place now. This next one is called initiating relationships. Often we can learn much about ourselves from the people to whom we are attracted. As we progress through recovery, we learn that we can no longer form relationships solely on the basis of attraction. We learn to be patient, to allow ourselves to take into account important facts and to process information about that person. What we are striving for in recovery is a healthy attraction. A healthy attraction to people. We allow ourselves to be attracted to the people who are not their potential or not what we hope they are. The more we work through our family of origin issues, the less we will find ourselves needing to work through them with other people we're attracted to. Finishing our business from the past helps us form new and healthy relationships. The more we overcome our need to be excessive caretakers, the less we will find ourselves attracted to the people who need to be constantly taken care of. The more we learn to love and respect ourselves, the more we'll become attracted to people who will love and respect us, and who is the promise from the universe. Feel today's feelings. Solve today's problems. Enjoy today's gifts. Trust yourself, life, and your higher power today. Acquire the art of living fully today. Absorb the lessons, the healing, the beauty, the love available to us today. We do not be in such a rush to move on. There is no hurry. We cannot escape. We can only postpone. Let the feelings go. Breathe in peace and healing, and do not be in such a hurry to move on. So today I will not run from myself, my circumstances, or my feelings. I will be open to myself, others, my higher power, and my life. I will trust that by facing today with the best of my ability, I will acquire the skills I need to face tomorrow. The next one is called learning to trust again. Many of us have trust issues. Many of us tried long and hard to trust untrustworthy people over and over again. We believed lies and promises never to be kept. Some of us tried to trust people for the impossible. For instance, trusting a practicing alcoholic not to drink again. Some of us trusted our higher power inappropriately. Some of us even taught that life could never be trusted, that we had no control and manipulation our way. Some of us were taught inappropriately that we couldn't trust ourselves. In recovery, we're learning from our trust issues. We're learning to trust again. The first lesson is trust is we can learn to trust ourselves. We can be trusted. If others have taught us that we cannot trust ourselves, they are lying. Addictions and dysfunctional systems make people lie. We can learn to appropriately trust our higher power, not to make people do what we want them to, but to help us take care of ourselves and to bring about the best possible circumstances at the best possible times in our lives. We can trust the process of life and recovery. We do not have to control, obsess, or become hypervigilant. We may not always understand where we are going or what's working for us, but we can trust something good is happening. When we learn to do this, we are ready to learn to trust in other people. When we trust in a higher power, we trust in ourselves. We will know who to trust and what to trust that person for. Perhaps we always did. We just didn't listen closely enough to ourselves or trust what we had learned. So today, I will affirm that I can learn to trust appropriately. I can trust myself, my higher power, and recovery, and I can learn to appropriately trust others too. Now the next one is called denial. Denial is a powerful tool. Never underestimate its ability to cloud your vision. Be aware that for many reasons we have become experts at using this tool to make reality more tolerable. We have learned well how to stop the pain caused by reality, not by changing our circumstances, but by pretending our circumstances are not something more than what they are. You see, we do not have to be victimized by life, by people, by situations, by work, by our friends, by our love, relationships, by our family, by ourselves, our feelings, our thoughts, or circumstances. We are not victims. We do not have to be victims. That is the whole point. Yes, admitting and accepting. Powerlessness is important, but that is the first step, an introduction to this business of recovery. Later comes owning our power, changing what we can. This is important as admitting and accepting powerlessness, that there is so much we can change. We can own our power wherever we are, wherever we go, whoever we are with. We don't have to stand there with our hands tied, groveling helplessly, and submitting to whatever comes along. There are things we can do. We can speak up, solve the problems, use a problem to motivate ourselves. We can make ourselves feel good. We can walk away. We can come back to our own terms. We can come back on our own terms. We can stand up for ourselves. We can refuse to let others control and manipulate us. We can do what we need to do to take care of ourselves. That is the beauty, the reward, the crown of victory that we are given in this process called recovery. It is what it's all about. We can't do anything about the circumstance. We can change our attitude. We can work within. Courageously face our issues so we are not victimized. We have been given a miraculous key to life. We are victims no more unless we want to be. I will say that again. We are victims no more unless we want to be. Freedom and joy are ours for the taking, for the feeling, for the hard work we have done. So today I will remind myself as often as necessary that I am not a victim, and I do not need to be victimized by whatever comes my way. I will work hard to remove myself as a victim, whether that means setting and enforcing a boundary, walking away, dealing with my feelings, or giving myself what I need. The next one is called letting go. It's a very short one. Stop trying so hard to control things. It is not our job to control people, outcomes, circumstances, or life. Maybe in the past we couldn't trust and let things happen, but we can now. The way life is unfolding is good. Let it unfold. Stop trying so hard to do better, to be better, be more. Who we are and the way we are, and the way we do things is good enough for today. Who we were and the way we did things yesterday was good enough for that day. Ease up on ourselves. Let go. Stop trying so hard. Fear. One day I decided to try something new. I took my 10-year-old out on the St. Croix River in a wave runner. A wave runner is a small boating vehicle resembling a motorcycle. We donned life jackets and embarked on an experience that turned out to be both exhilarating and frightening. Exhilarating when I let myself enjoy it. Frightening when I thought too much about it and I was doing and all the terrible things that could happen. Midway through our ride, my worst fear came true. We took a spill. We were floundering in 30 feet of water. The wave runner was bobbing on the waves in front of me, like a motorized turtle on its back. Don't panic, my son said calmly. What if we drowned? I objected. We can't, he said. We have life jackets on. See, we're floating. The machine is upside down, I said. How are we going to turn it over? Just like the man said, my son answered, the arrow points this way. voice inside reassured me, you survived. So don't panic. Problems were made to be solved. Life is made to be lived. Although sometimes we may be in over our heads. We may even go under for a few seconds and gulp a few mouthfuls of water. We don't drown. We're wearing, and always have been wearing, a life jacket. Okay, so I'm getting near the end. I'm almost done for this segment. Okay. So this next one is called apologies. Apologies, as we act in a manner with which we are less than comfortable. That's human. That's why we have the words, I'm sorry. They heal and bridge the gap, but we don't have to say I'm sorry if we didn't do anything wrong. A sense of shame can keep us apologizing for everything we do, every word we say, for being alive and being who we are. We don't have to apologize for taking care of ourselves, dealing with feelings, setting boundaries, having fun, or getting healthy. We never have to change our course. It is our best interest, but sometimes a general apology acknowledges other feelings and can be useful when the issues or circumstances or relationships are not clear. We might say, I'm sorry for the fuss we had. I'm sorry if what I need to do to take care of myself hurt you. It was not intended that way. Once we make an apology, we don't have to keep repeating it. If someone wants to keep on extricating an apology from us for the same incident, that is the other person's issue, and we don't have to get hooked on that. We can learn to take our apologies seriously and not hand them out when they're not valid. When we feel good about ourselves, we know when it's time to say, I'm sorry, and when it's not. So today, I will try to be clear and healthy for my apologies, taking responsibility